Good morning, traders. So still using the Bull-Williams theory, what are we going to do with the Dow Jones today? So I'm on the weekly at the moment and just want to highlight this trend line break. So you can see this was the original downtrend and we gapped up above it and immediately came back to test this break. So if we do this on the daily, what you should see is a break above it, and we are currently below the trend line, but that is still a test. We also see a crossover of the alligator here. So this is a signal that the trend has changed. And we're also obviously above the 200 as well. So now the 200 moving average is going to cross over the alligator pretty soon, which that in itself, if I can just find a time where it's done that, I don't think we've ever done it. No, because we've always bounced off it. So you can see for as long as the 200 is below the alligator, that is a fairly bullish signal. See that? So at this stage, we are below, we are crossing through the alligator. So yeah, so the alligator could very well be moving above the 200 moving average soon again. However, I still believe we're going to have quite a bit of volatility in this at the moment. This red bar does worry me a little bit, but anyway, that's not something we need to worry about just yet. What I do want to do is just highlight the inside tails, and I keep talking about them. Okay, so here's the inside tail here. I pointed out yesterday. There is an inside tail there, and there is another inside tail right where price is at the moment. When we come to the 4 hour, you will notice that we turned off that top inside tail. Look what price did here. We broke through this inside tail level here, down to the next one, bounced off it, bounced back up to come and test this break. Okay, so these inside tails are fairly significant. So ignore them at your peril, basically. Especially on the Dow Jones. Most of the US markets trade to these levels 9 times out of 10. Okay, and then obviously the higher the time frame, the better the probability, the better the chance that the level is going to play out. So looking at the hour, not looking very rosy at the moment, looking like we're going to be heading to the downside. But I'm not going to write too much into that at this stage. So what we do have here is we've got a couple of inside tails levels to worry about. So there's one there, and let me use a line. There's one there. See what I'm doing? I'm lining up with these fractal tails here. Okay, so this one here lines up with the gap close. If I go to the weekly and you look at this top line here, so in actual fact we can just delete that bottom one. There's an inside tail, there's an inside tail. We're on this top inside tail. So if that gives, the next one is definitely gap close. And this one is fairly significant because we've got 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches. Okay, this one over here has got 1 touch, that's pretty close, 2, and there's another one, 3. So this zone is fairly strong. So I would be looking for longs off one of these 2 areas. Now the problem is most people will be waiting at the gap here. And my opinion of this is that you need to basically block this gap out of your sight, because it could be a case of we pick up off this level here. Okay, so how do you do this? Quite simple. You have fractal levels. So you've got a fractal level to the upside, you've got a fractal level to the downside. Notice how this fractal level to the upside came back to test this break again. Now because this is a fairly strong trend, so it's 1, 2, and then a break, you would expect the sellers to be selling off this level. So bears would be selling off this level to try and push it back down. Okay, This is a potential double bottom on the daily with the neckline all the way up here. So the next area that I'm looking to break is this area here. Now, the fact that this inside tail here has been tagged, I now remove this and I look for my next inside tail. Look to the left, because none of this is inside tail at the moment. This little one here may be, but I'd look to the left to find something different. There is an inside tail. So that would be my next target, followed by this fractional inside tail right there, which would break above this double bottom. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So if we come down to the hour, and what's happening now is actually irrelevant, because you can see what happened during the day, during the morning session yesterday, and then we sold off quite dramatically. Okay. If we just use a Fibonacci here as well, I'll take it from there. So we did tag the 50. 61.8 is at gap close. Now the reason I took it from there is because from here up down was a decent pullback. From here up down was a decent pullback. So these two have had a pullback. This last move has not been a pullback. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm expecting. If you are sitting long at the moment, your stop levels are pretty much below these fractals here. The reason I say that is, if you look at the 4 hour, there's no real fractal yet. So this says it's a fractal, but it's not. Okay, this bar needs to finish first. Okay, once we break above that level there, so once we break above 25,875, then you can move your stop here. But you'd want a 4 hour close above this, then you move your stop up to this level. Okay. So at this stage, looking at the alligator, we are in a very strong uptrend. This is just a pullback, in my opinion anyway. Could come back further. Could very well come back to test our neckline of our head and shoulders here before finding a base and then continuing its move to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of the view that I have at the moment. Don't see anything else that's going to change that right now. But I do think what we need to do is just have a quick look at the ichimoku, because that's going to give us a little bit more information. So start with the daily. So the daily, we have broken through the cloud, and you would expect it to come back and test this break. Okay, so it could come all the way back down to this level here of 25550. Okay, come back to here, and then you would expect it to continue moving to the upside. We have not got a crossover yet, and I don't think we have a twist, although the cloud is getting narrower here. So there is a couple of signals here that is indicating that we could see some sort of a crossover today. We've got some deviation here, which is also not a strong bullish signal, but it is a bullish signal. When Kijinsen was pointing up and Dickinson's flat like this, normally you see that kind of view the other way around. So Dickinson is up and then Kijinsen is flat. And here you see we've got diversions. Okay, remember that Dickinson is our slow moving average, which is the blue one, and Kijinsen is our other way around. So Dickinson blue is our fast moving average, and Kijinsen is our 26 slow moving average. Okay, so that's kind of what we have at the moment. If I look at the 4 hour, we are pretty much in a strong bull trend. Cloud is pointing to the upside. Kijinsen, Dickinson pointing to the upside. I'd pretty much be looking for a long on the bounce of Dickinson. So if it comes back into Dickinson, take the bounce, put my stop below here. Okay, but this is pointing up. There's no reason to be short just yet. You're looking for longs. What also, just to highlight here, is that you'll see there are quite a few areas of flat cloud. Okay, so you can see this first lot of buying happened on this little flat cloud here. So there's our next one, there's our next one. So there's quite a few levels of support in this area as well. If we look at this on the hour, you'll see a bit of a different picture. So we've had a bearish crossover and we are below price on Chicka's Bay and the brown line. But we are above the cloud and the cloud is green. And our oscillator is grouping for a buying. So yeah, I'm still looking, I would still say look for a long entry, and you can see these 4-hour flat cloud areas are all areas which line up to either an inside tail somewhere along the line or a gap. Okay, looking at the weekly, the only concern we have on the weekly is we've had a bearish crossover here. But we are still above the cloud, so it's kind of a catch-22, I would say. These three lines here, you can see how they line up with a number of tails as well. Okay, so that is kind of my zone that I'm looking at the moment. If we just come down to the 12 minutes, down to a lower time frame, you'll see pretty much pointing down, trend is down, but I don't trust that at all. Okay, so to me right now we're in sort of a retracement phase, and the trick is what we want on the hour is we want to see a crossover, a bullish crossover here, and that is a very strong signal. Okay, last thing, I think let's just do this on our proper Bill Williams. So last thing to pay attention to is obviously that trend line. See how it lines up with the alligator as well. So what I want to see is the buyers should step in sometime, even if they do push it down to close the gap here. So long as we stay above this area here. So we stay above 25,240, we should be fine. Okay, so that's my view of this for today. Hope it helps. And yeah, I suppose on the half hour we are still, we are in a downward trend, but we haven't given you a level to the upside. So the level to the upside is pretty much a break of this fractal here. So break of 25,877 is what you're looking for. You're looking for a half hour close above that. That will give you confidence that you have a long. That would be an area to add to your long position and move your stops up to below these fractals here. Okay, so just bear in mind that you do have this magnet here, which is the gap. So don't rule that out just yet. It is very possible, but as I pointed out, there are other levels that you need to pay attention to, and the one that we are flirting with right now is pretty critical. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and yeah, just be patient and the entry is going to come. Anyway guys, enjoy your day and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.